Hey people, Bob here with NC Express Services. I want to thank you for tuning in, and more importantly, I want to thank you for choosing us to come out and give you an estimate on your EV charger. Congratulations on your car, by the way. I'm honored to be able to do that for you. But I wanted to make this video a little bit so that you are, before we even come out there, you're aware of the type of company that you are hopefully entrusting your electrical system to. Okay. When it comes to EVs, we are a little bit different than most contractors. I'm not going to promise you that we're going to give you the cheapest price. We don't do that. What I will promise you is we're going to give you the most quality, safe installation for your money. That's more important to me than price. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit of the difference so that if you are getting other prices, you're comparing apples to apples. Number one, let's talk about the receptacle. If you're getting an EV that plugs in and has a receptacle, the code allows what's called a 50 amp receptacle, same that's on your range. They're about $11. I will not allow my technicians to put them in. Here's why. They burn up. Google EV receptacles, look at images, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And the reason that they do not last is because the continuous load that an EV charger has on it. If your car is almost dead, you could plug it in and have it pulling full amount of juice or electricity for 6 hours or more. An oven never pulls that type for that long. Yeah, you'll have your oven on, but even if your oven's on full blast, it's going to go off as it reaches temperature. Then it might be off for 5-10 minutes and then come back on for a couple minutes and cycle back and forth. Rarely do you have the oven sit at 500 degrees in all four burners, maybe Thanksgiving time. But it's rare that, they're going to be running continuously for 6 hours or more. When electricity is used at that type of level, it generates heat. And the connections inside the inexpensive range receptacles are not designed for that type of continuous load. I guarantee you in the next year or code change, you're going to see it's going to be different. They're going to be mandatory to go to the industrial grade receptacles that we use. They're more money, but they can handle the heat longer. They don't burn up. And if you do Google the pictures, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I can go into depth on why and things like that, but just take a look at the pictures. So number one is the receptacle. Number two, if we put a disconnect in. By code, you do not need to have a disconnect on the charger, especially if it's got a breaker right next to it. If your charger's near the panel, you got a circuit breaker there, that's great. If you're having a problem with your car or the charger, you can turn the electricity off right there in the panel. But what if it's outside? What if your car's outside, the charger's outside, your panel's inside, you're charging it, maybe the garage is closed? What happens if you have a problem? You got to remember, okay, how am I going to turn this off? I'm not going up to the car. Something's going on over there. No, you got to find the electric panel, get to it, and then turn the breaker off. For the little bit of money, I'd rather make you safe and secure. We put a disconnect right next to it. You can unplug it, and it's off right then and there. It's much safer. Even the quality of the disconnect we put in is going to be different than most. Most are going to put in what's called an air conditioning disconnect. It's got a little plastic insert. We won't do that. Ours is all metal because they can't handle the heat either. That's something that we put in that others won't. The third thing we do is we torque every single connection in your charger and in the breaker. And when I say torque, by code, you have to tighten down on the conductors, on the wires, a certain number of foot-pounds. And that's dictated by the breaker manufacturer, the charger. It tells you how many foot-pounds, how much torque you need to put on that screw. We do that. And the reason that we do that is because they heat up as well. Most electricians do not. I've been doing this 40 years. They do not torque their connections. We do. It's code. Nobody ever checks it. If you torque it and it's too loose, if you tighten it down, it's too loose, the heat can make it loosen up again, generate heat, start melting. you have problems. If they tighten it too tight, some people I've seen him put a drill on them. Tighten it too tight, it could heat up and actually split the metal on the connection, which of course would then make a loose electrical connection and cause more problems. We don't allow that to happen. I take it one step further, and this is important. We make an appointment to come back to your home or business 1 year later to check the torque at no extra cost. Because we know connections can loosen up, we want to make sure yours is not. So a year later, we come back, no invoice is given, and we verify that it is still tight. That's the kind of connections I want. I want to verify that because we're warranting our work for life. A lot of other things that we can do for you, but that's what I want you to look at when you're deciding on who to trust your electrical system to. It's not just about price. We're going to give you the best installation we possibly can. Okay? I appreciate your time. If you're still listening, if you hung in there, hear my raspy voice, pollen's got me. Anyway, our tech will be out there probably in the next day or two whenever you can swing an appointment. And if you have any questions, ask them. Ask me. You can call me 919-859-9588. Just ask for Bob. All right? God bless and enjoy your car.